Hi, I'm Shirella. Why raise your hands to heaven? Well, I was recently in a play and I played for part of the play a part of a nun. And there was a group of nuns and we sang Latin music in harmony a cappella. And for one of the pieces, there was about 15, 16 of us in a half circle around our Mother Abbess, who was at the middle of the circle, and she had donned this royal red cape thing. I'm not sure what they would use that for in the Roman Catholic Church. But we were all dressed up in our nun outfits with the head coverings and the black dresses. And there was this part at this end of this song where we followed her as she had donned this robe, and then she went like this with her hands, and all of us followed her, and our hands all went up to heaven. We sat there for a moment, and I looked at the light above until through the corner of my eye I could see her go like this. And all of us followed her and brought our hands, our prayer hands, to our heart. And it was my favorite part. I loved it. I just felt like I was praising God and then bringing my prayer hands together. And then the light fades. We go off the stage. So I even told my fellow co-actor, that is my favorite part of the play. I love how we're praising God like that, in a group like that, in this little semicircle with the Mother Abbess in the middle. So imagine my chagrin. The last night of the performance that we did this play, it was the 6th time we had done it, and here we went to do the hands up to the lights. That's all I could see because everything else is dark. And then right as we started to bring our hands back, the tech people cut off the lights and everything went dark. And the audience didn't see our praying hands. In the split second that this happened, these were my thoughts. They are missing the very best part. Tech really messed up on this, the last performance, the best part. And then I thought the next thing, this is the only time they actually see our hands, because as the nuns, we walk around like this underneath the dress and you don't ever actually see our hands. This is the only time people actually saw our hands. It was like a special moment. Also, I thought, well, maybe just having our hands raised to heaven is enough. You know, they didn't see our praying hands, but they saw our hands raised to heaven. Maybe that's enough, even though it was super cool to see it come to the heart, have all of our hands looking perfectly uniform together. And then I actually thought for a brief moment, how is this like life? When does darkness intercept that prayer? When you have that idea of reaching heavenward and then you don't actually make it to prayer. How often does that happen? My next thought was, my son's out in the audience. He drove a couple hours to come watch the show tonight on its final closing night, and he's not seeing my favorite part. And then my last thought, in this split second of thinking, I'm glad that we, as a group of actors and actresses, all of us were actresses at that point, are good enough just to keep going. We know just to keep going. We don't say, oh, we're done, and just not go to the praying hands. Because it paid off when suddenly, as our hands came together like this, the lights flashed back on, and here we were as the nuns with all of our hands together in the prayer position. And I was like, oh, wonderful, they still saw it. And it might have actually been cooler, because here we were here, and then suddenly here we were here. They didn't have the couple of seconds of watching it go like that, and maybe that actually ended up being a cooler effect. Well, so here's the question I have for you. Are you a praying person? Why? Why not? And how often do you pray? Do you believe that God will answer your prayers? Why or why not? And then, do you believe that you could even have a particle of faith to believe that God will answer your prayers, especially when things are not going the way that you want them to? Sometimes I wonder if, as you think about your time and the way you spend time, what is a few seconds that you might take out of a day to shoot a prayer heavenwards? Is that worth a few seconds a day? Throughout the day? How about kind of all day long? Can you just kind of shoot little prayers up to God all day long? When and where do you find your praying hands? Do you find it in the light when everything's going good, when things are happy and bright, or in the dark when things are not going so good and the tech crew messes up and things are not going so good? Or is that the only time you put your hands together is in the darkness when you super badly need it and you're just begging for answers? Personally, I hope to be a conduit of God's love and light and prayer. I hope to be continually praying, to have a prayer in my heart throughout the day, and I urge and inspire you to do so as well. Well, we've got the rain coming on, so I will encourage you, if you want to talk more about faith and about self-care and treating your body well, all-around health, moving your body, eating better, I have a program that you can find. That's a 91-day app-based program that you can find at www.honeydewhealthin91.com.